Hi, what's up everyone? Chris Harvey here, welcome back to the channel where today we are talking about the acoustic guitar for a change. So if you saw the video that I posted a couple of weeks ago, I mentioned that I'm currently in the process of writing a record, and it's going to be an instrumental guitar record, and I'm really working hard to try and make the guitar sound different and trying to make it a more inspirational tool when it comes to writing music. And it got me thinking about the acoustic guitar, because the acoustic guitar, as we are probably all too familiar with, has a very quintessential, timeless sound. The sound of a microphone on an acoustic is just something that we've all heard a million times, which is great, and there's a reason for that. It's because it sounds awesome. But there are other things that we can do with the acoustic to make it a really inspirational tool for writing, and to sonically just make it a bit more interesting, a bit more complex, and it will force us, myself, to play in a different way, which, when you're writing music, originality is something that I think we're all trying to chase. So where did this idea come from? Well, it's not an original idea, as originality in guitar is probably near impossible at this point, unless you're some kind of unicorn. So I stumbled across this, and there are a number of guitar players that do this really well. But one that particularly sprung to mind was a guitar player called Jed Hughes. Now, anyone who is familiar with Tom Bukovacs' YouTube channel may have seen Jed Hughes featured in a couple of videos. They're all pals, and Jed Hughes is based in Nashville. He's a session player, but he's also a musician and an artist in his own right. And he did a video with Brett Papa on his channel, which was dedicated to the acoustic guitar. And he was running an acoustic guitar through, I think it was like a Fender Deluxe Reverb. He was running it through some pedals, and he was also miking the acoustic at the front with a traditional microphone setup. And this is something that really caught my attention. So as we mentioned, a microphone on an acoustic is a great sound, but when you incorporate an amplifier into the chain, and I'm using the Revv D20 in this video, it brings out a lot more possibilities, and it makes the sound more three-dimensional. Because I'm running my traditional pedal board into the amp, and I'm using the modulation effects, the ARP87 delay, and the Strymon Flint for harmonic, tremolo, and reverb, it forces you to play differently. The guitar reacts differently when you play it, and that will change the way that you play, and it influences the things that you write. You get more sustain, you get more saturation, and all of that is a good inspirational tool. I've steered away from the kind of boost and overdrive pedals because I still want it to sound kind of like an acoustic. I just want to add some extra dimension to it. So that's pretty much what I'm aiming for with this setup. Okay, so let's just talk briefly about the setup and configuration for this in terms of how I'm recording the audio from these two signal sources. And I'm going to put a schematic up on screen now just to show the signal path. So we basically have the guitar, which is plugged into the pedal board and then plugged into the amp, and then I'm using the XLR out of the back of my amp because it does have the virtual cab sim, the 2-note torpedo built in. But if you were just running a traditional conventional tube amp, then you would probably just stick a microphone and take the XLR out of that to mic up and capture the amp tone. And then I have the condenser mic on the acoustic, and that is running a separate signal with, again, an XLR cable. Now I'm running that into my audio interface, so input 1 of my interface is being captured by the amp, and then input 2 or channel 2 is taking the feed from the microphone on the acoustic. Then up in Logic, I'm basically setting up 2 channels. So channel 1 is going to be input 1, which will be the amp, and then channel 2 will be set to input 2, which is the condenser mic. And then I can record that simultaneously. So when I hit record, both of those sources are going to be capturing what's going on when I play the guitar. The great thing about all of this is that that means when you're mixing, you can then choose how much of each signal you want blended into the sound. So if you want more of the amp tone for a particular sound, then you can achieve that. Or, similarly, if you want more of the microphone sound and you want more of a traditional acoustic tonality, but just with some of the effects blended in to add a little bit of depth and tone shaping, then you can do that to taste. So it's a really great setup. I've really enjoyed the tones out of it, and I want to play some of those sounds for you now. hope you agree that a tone like that definitely turns this acoustic instrument into something far more interesting and three-dimensional. And leave a comment down below and let me know if you've tried a setup like this, or if this is something that you would want to experiment with for your own writing, just for your own enjoyment playing the acoustic, because I don't feel like the acoustic guitar gets a lot of love, and it's definitely something that can be as tonally interesting and have as much tonal variation as an electric guitar with all the effects and the amps and all that kind of stuff. So don't neglect the acoustic, just think a little bit outside of the box, and I think you'll start coming up with some really, really cool parts. And if you're not subscribed to the channel, then do take a second to hit that subscribe button. It's free of charge, costs nothing, and it really helps support the channel. And more than anything else, if you can just give the video a thumbs up, that helps more people find this type of content that they might find useful. So it really supports me, and I'd be really grateful for you taking a second to do that. Anyway, thank you for watching. I'll be back with another video next Tuesday. So in the meantime, keep playing guitar, have a go at this little setup, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.